Round 13, and we're back to Brands Hatch, just where it all started back in April. But can anybody stop Yuichi Kinari lifting the trophy for the second consecutive season?
It's the penultimate Bennett's British Superbike race of the year. That man there, Gregorio Lavia, starts from pole. But will it be Kinari who manages to pull himself off that second row and take the championship in race one today? Oh, that's perfect for Honda. HM Plant Honda's 1 and 2. Stobart Honda in third place. Well, that'll do for Neil Tuxworth, that's for sure. Alongside me, as ever, Neil McKenzie. And really, Neil, this is going to be about people tripping themselves up into Druids. It's so difficult on this opening lap, jockeying for position.
I don't think I've seen two bikes jump off the grid as quick as these two HM Plant Hondas. That was incredible. They were at the first corner before you could say red light. Incredible.
We're looking back from Jonathan Ray into the number 1 plate of his teammate, that is, of course, Kinari. These two men through this section of the course when I was out watching yesterday were stunning through here. Jonathan Ray, I thought Leon Haslam looked fast, but really Jonathan Ray made everyone look daft through that section. Honda's hook up then out of clearways onto the Clark curve and then the Brabham straight, which really is not a straight for more than about 50 yards. You can see that's it. That's the straightest part of the course here on the 1.2 mile Indy track. Into Paddock Hill Bend, then dropping down, all the suspension bangs into the bottom. That I spoke to Chris Walker a little earlier on, the number 9 bike, and that's a real problem for him down there. He's in such a lot of pain at the moment, and his hips take a good old bashing when they get to the bottom of bottom bend. So then, Ray leads, Kinari in second place at the moment. Third is the Stobart Bent Axia Honda. No jump starts as far as the monitor is concerned. Look at this, Gregorio Lavia looking for a way around the outside of Tom Sykes. Sykes, he gets the power on, so does Gregorio. Gregorio, real smooth line, and the long-legged Ducati now gets wound up. But look at that, the Stobart Honda leaps away from it.
It really does, yeah. These Ducatis just getting a bit tired now. They're looking forward to using that 1200cc bike. Yeah, there's a Ducati, right. Yeah, well, I wasn't sure if it was Crutchlow, but I think he was just really close to Leon, and that was the...
It's dragging the middle part of its fairing along. It's obviously got a full fuel load on for the race distance. And looking a bit soft there as it comes through the bottom hill bend, and it's just grabbing all the stuff along the bottom. Oh, and a new lap record for Johnny Ray. Johnny Ray has broken the lap record. It was, what, 45.8 and held by Gregorio Lavia. Well, I said the first 2 rows were completely underneath that lap record in qualifying, but this is on race tyres with race fuel, and we're only into lap 4 of the Indy circuit here, so at the end of the day, that's a stunning time from Jonathan Ray. Paddock Hill Bend again, 6 laps of 30 laps. It's not often that we can say 30 laps for a British Superbike race. And it's only 1.2 miles round here. Do the math yourself, because I'm not too good at that.
Well, we can say that at Knockhill. I believe they do 30 laps up there at Knockhill as well. But you're right, they're going to catch back Marcus pretty soon, and that can quite often throw a result. Look at Carl Harris here in the Hydrex on the brilliant ride. For
some strange reason, though, this place seems even shorter than Knockhill. It seems even smaller track around here. I think probably because we can see every inch of it from the commentary box, whereas at least Knockhill they go out of sight once or twice.
Yeah, it certainly is. Yeah, lap times are quick around here. They come round before you know it. Fantastic circuit for spectators, and what a show these two guys are putting on.
But the big deal for me is that in this position where we are at the moment, it's going to be Kinari, British Superbike champion for the 2nd year in succession, and our young assistant producer here was filling me in on the information. Last person to defend successfully was apparently your good self.
Oh, apparently, yeah, and that was a few years ago, so yeah, good on Kinari if he can do it. I know how tough it was for me, so he's done a good job to do it 2 years in a row. But Kinari, I think his plan was just to stay out of trouble, get away from the melee at the back there, but there's plenty going on. There's a fight here going on, and that's the fight for the 3rd podium position, and Tom Sykes, as he said on the grid, would be very happy with another podium if he can't take the win.
Oh, good move, superb from number 36, Gregorio Lavia. Well, it was only a matter of time. It's now really a question of whether he can reel in the 2 Michelin-shot HM Plant Hondas. I can tell you there was not a tyre issue, but the fact is that Dunlop, because they didn't actually get enough time with the temperature being as hot as it is, they've gone for a slightly safer option tyre-wise for Gregorio, because they were a little bit concerned that when it got to the end of its 30 laps, it might not quite be as with him as he would want. So we know that Gregorio Lavia, his tyre might come to him even more as the race moves on with the setup they've gone for. And oh, now goes Sykes. Sykes has gone down. Sykes, he bins the Vent Axia Stobart Honda. He's perfectly okay. Oh, it's on fire. We have fire. Fire then. There's the fire extinguisher. Got to come to the sandpit. Oh, Paul Bird is going to be weeping That bike's got to be built to go out to Macau, of course, in just a few weeks' time for the Macau Grand Prix. Lost the front. That really did tip in there, didn't it, Neil?
Yeah, I think Tom just tipped in there a little bit hot, right on the edge of the tyre. It goes off camber there as you turn in.
Got to say, though, must have been right on the point where he was about to tap it in.
Yeah, he's almost past that point. As I said, it's a very fine line, but just trying not to let Gregorio get away. Poor old Tom Sykes hasn't put a foot round all weekend, in fact, all season, but that bike, that's 50 to 100 grand's worth of bike in flames there, and that's it, it's
not
destroyed.
Anymore. Well, that's a bit like Paul Bird's mood. There's a fog come over it. We saw Birdie a moment ago. The safety car is out then, has been deployed. And we're on lap 10 of 30 at 1/3 distance. They won't be extending the race then if it's only 1/3 distance. And the riders will now have to form up. That's perfect for Gregorio Lavia. That's really done him a big favour. We come back under the caution. It's out now. We are on lap 12 of 30 as they come into Paddock Hill Bend, and Gregorio Lavia and Leon Haslam have been given a second shot at these two out front. The HM plant. Oh, look at Jonathan Ray, though. He really has launched that attack up to Druids for the first time after the restart. There we are, looking back into the eyes of Gregorio Lavia. Wow, fantastic stuff we are seeing here at the moment. Absolutely. Oh, we got another man down. That's not Carl Harris. Let's take a look at it.
That is.
It's number 28 that's gone down there. It's Neil Faulkner. Neil Faulkner on the team MCO NSF Racing Yamaha. And didn't recognise his leathers at the time. Oh, Lavia's gone through. Lavia is second. We've got Lavia second now behind Jonathan Ray. Gregorio Lavia, what's the Spanish for I am coming?
Back to his very, very best over the last few years. He's had a lull over the last 2 or 3 races. That magical Spanish sparkle hasn't quite been there, but the guys in the teams were saying that he just showed up as a different rider this weekend, and it really shows. Fantastic through practice, through qualifying.
Number 4, Jonathan Ray leads from the man who is right on his heels now, Gregorio Lavia. He was the lap record holder. He is again the lap record holder here. 48.4 was his time. Superb stuff. Along the Cooper Straight at the back of the pits, everybody hanging on the fence there like monkeys, keeping an eye on what's going on here. It's a great place to watch. That flip-flop there, he's going for it. Yeah, he's looked good there every time, and he's forced Ray out of the way. Great stuff there from the Spaniard. He stuffs up the inside of the Irishman. So, the Ulsterman moves to one side as through comes 36, the Airwave Ducati.
The Honda's faster on the straight, but he's got to be brave to go underneath Gregorio Lavia there. Gregorio Lavia got a really positive, really planted front end. He's confident with that front Dunlop.
This is going to be interesting to see how this race goes over the next 3rd distance, because Lavia's shown his pace, shown his hand.
No, I think
Jonathan Ray isn't going to give it up, is he? This was a superb move from quite a long way back.
A long way back into clearways. Jonathan Ray perfectly online, but he could sense that Gregorio Lavia was there. Pushed Jonathan Ray a little bit wide, but Jonathan Ray gets a good drive on the straight, but not quite close enough. He's just going to disappear, I'm sure. If his tyres last, then he's just going to disappear.
Shane Byrne goes through. That's a great move. He's a great racer, Shane Byrne, and I really do like to see him when he's at it.
Good Cal Crutchlow.
Straight back at him, though, on the brakes. Mind you, Cal Crutchlow's not too shabby either when it comes to proper racing.
No, it's too shabby, and Cal Crutchlow's got 2 chances to get on that rostrum. He's been so close this year, hasn't quite worked out, but he's looking okay here, but Kianari's still in control as far as keeping Haslam behind him.
Gregorio Lavia leads as he comes up to Druids. Number 4 in second place is Jonathan Ray. Number 1 there is the defending champion and would-be champion again in 2007, Kianari.
Now we know Cal Crutchlow, number 35, has got a fast motorcycle. If he can set himself up behind Haslam, coming through clearways onto the start-finish straight,
I don't think they can stick it to the floor coming out of clearways good enough to be able to use the power, you know, here.
Well, the Ducati has such good traction control, then anything he can gain, Haslam has pulled back. He really can get on the throttle here. Haslam can. Haslam's closer. Haslam's closer.
Got to be good on the brakes.
Kianari pulls it in quite tight there.
I just think the way Kianari has that Honda set up historically over the tracks, he's
back markers might change now.
Confidence in the front end.
He has, but look at this, 4 back markers coming up here.
Well, Gregorio's eked out enough of a lead to be able to deal with them in his own good time, you would hope. But this is going to be a problem. Greg's gone through. Jonathan Ray has gone through. Oh, this is going to catch him right where you don't want him. 32, there's Kenny Gilbertson, I think.
Oh, the blue flags will be out, but these guys are in their own race as well, so it's very, very difficult.
Kenny Gilbertson will be the first man up. I think it's Malcolm Ashley just in front of him as well on the 111 machine.
Oh, this is a chance for Leon.
If he can keep the power on, that's assuming that Chianari is going to be thwarted here. No, he's not. So then, we're on the last lap. Gregorio Lavia is surely going to win. He has a massive 2.3 second lead over Jonathan Ray there. Ray goes through on bike number 4. Chianari at Druids.
Haslam's thinking about it round the long way around Druids.
Oh, he's going to be hard pressed, I think, because blue flag's being waved and the back markers realise that. Oh, down goes the back marker. 32, Kenny Gilbertson that was. So that's a bit unlucky for Kenny. Was he tagged or did he do it himself?
Well, there was a bit of confusion there and a lot of riders coming through,
but over the line, though, will come Gregorio Lavia. Lavia wins from Jonathan Ray. So Lavia takes the checkered flag for the first time today. But it is Ryoichi Chianari who defends successfully his Bennett's British Superbike Championship. He is the champion for 2007. And that was a fraught, well-judged race from Chianari. On a fine win, and that's what I like to see, a bit of national interest here as well. Well, the second year the British Championship has gone to the young and very, very popular Japanese, and I don't say that anything other than advisedly because he is so popular around the paddock. A thoroughly nice young fella. Goes off to World Superbikes next year with Gerrit Tenkata and team, and that's a great Honda setup for him. His teammate Jonathan Ray joins him, though, only in the category of World Super Sports. But the number 1 t-shirt goes on. Ryoichi Chianari is the champ again. After race 1 today then, Ryoichi Chianari is on 420 points from 387 for Johnny Ray. Leon Haslam was on 376 but can't be caught by Gregorio Lavia. Shane Byrne is still 5th, Tom Sykes 6th, Chris Walker in 7th place, and Leon Camia is still on 199 with Cal Crutchlow on 136. Remember, 25 points for a win, 20 for 2nd place. That's how it rolls all the way down to 1 for 15th place. The sun continues to shine here in Brands Hatch in Kent. Ryoichi Chianari is already the champion, so honour is at stake as they move down the hill and weave into each other, but it's Jonathan Ray who made the whole shot. Shaky Byrne slid into 3rd place, right behind Jonathan Ray, teammate Chianari. Good start for Chianari. Bit of a bobble in the middle of Paddock Hill Bend, though, as they go up now to Druids Corner. Got to hold your breath when you get in here to Airwaves. Ducati's right in the thick of the action as well. Easy to trip each other up on the exit there. Ian Hutchinson moving one of the riders, looks like one of the Hydrix bikes, across the track and almost onto the grass. But along the Cooper Straight, up towards Clearways for the first time. 2HM Plant Boys. So that is my favourite shot at the Indy circuit here at Brands Hatch. That flip-flop into Clearways where we are now, across onto what is the long circuit. All those grooves and the rubber that's ingrained into the tarmac that you have to deal with when you come across there, when you've got it a maximum angle of lean. And then through Clearways, along a little bit of a straight, the Brabham Straight they call it, onto Paddock Hill Bend where we are now, down the bottom of Paddock Hill, up to Druids Corner. Shane Byrne with the fastest lap at the moment, 45.8. Well, it used to be 45.8 was the lap record around this track. It was broken substantially by Gregorio Lavia a couple of times in race 1 of the Superbikes today, but these 4 really are at it now.
What a great shot, these 4 in formation. Just watch Shane Byrne's bike coming out here. The rear end just breaks away, starts wiggling around, just loses a bit of traction, a bit of drive there.
Oh, down has
James
gone Tom Tunstall. Is that James Buckingham?
Not sure.
Tom Tunstall, it looked to me. You might well be right. It is James Buckingham on the Key Garage Suzuki, Honda in this case. How many times can I get it wrong? 56, James Buckingham on the Key Garage bike. Of course, they ran Suzuki's last year. He's on a Honda this year. Oh, a smoky job. That might be a red flag. Let's take a look at that. We've got oil down here. Safety car is out. Oh.
He's so lucky.
He is
so lucky. And perfectly okay. Loads of runoff there.
He was halfway around the corner when it finally let go. So lucky boy indeed. And I'll tell you what, as soon as you smell oil smoke in your nostrils, you begin to worry. Take a look at this. Yeah, right in his favourite place. We didn't quite spot this when it was all going on, but Lavia stuck it underneath Shane Byrne and pinched that 3rd place on that last lap. And that was a great move. Colin Wright and Darrell Healy to the left. Oh, is that Kenny Gilbertson? Again, Kenny Gilbertson went down in race 1. Seems to have fallen down in race 2 on the Astro Kawasaki. Oh, there's oil there, isn't there? That's what he was saying just then. Is that oil that's... is that coming out of Paddock Hill?
Yeah, could have been maybe a bit wider or on the paint where James Buckingham did go down.
Bit of a, yeah, red flag. We've got a red flag. That's I would say that there's a little bit of a worry about whether there is anything slippery on the racetrack, and the only way the marshals are going to get a chance to look at it is if they can have a close inspection of it. Jonathan Rea, a little concerned about the rising temperature of his HM Plant Honda. It's a big problem when these bikes get a little bit warm. Then 20 laps in the rescheduled race. Will the HM Plant Honda boys make it in another immaculate start down towards Paddock Hill Bend? Well, that gives you a real racer's eye view of what's going on when you've got to hustle your way through this first turn at something like 70 miles an hour, dropping down to 80, 90, 120 mile an hour up the other side of the hill to Druids Corner and back to bottom gear for the first time.
Greg right behind his teammate Leon Haslam. He'll be looking to pull a passing manoeuvre at his favourite spot.
Spinning tax, I would imagine Greg is at the moment, because really in the first part he had a good start and was right there with the leaders. Now he's got to do what he did in race 1 today, seemingly hours ago, and that's make a lot of moves late on in the race. And of course Gregorio doesn't have the length of race that he had to play with in race 1. Lap 6 of 20, dropping down the hill. Shane Byrne looking very quick, 45.7 now his time. It was 45.4 that Gregorio Lavia put in as a new lap record in race 1 today.
Gregorio got past teammate Haslam on the back of Cal Crutchlow now.
Yeah, he just makes his way relentlessly forward, doesn't he, Gregorio? He's so neat and tidy the way he does it. But of course, as he catches up with a motorcycle that each one has a different characteristic that you've got to work out and make a pass on, and it's just not that much time when the laps click off as quick as they do. Oh, through has gone Lavia. Lavia has gone underneath him, so Lavia has grabbed Crutchlow's place. And,
he must have passed them on the curb there. There was no room.
Well, he does. He's actually very good on that run up to there, and I think that's the only place that Ducati has really seemingly an advantage around this racetrack.
That's a great shot looking back at Shane there. Watch how close Shane gets into Druids.
Goes for the inside. Yeah.
That close.
Shane Byrne straight through into second place.
That was nice.
That'll settle him down. Oh, shaky. Byrne goes for the gap. You leave a gap and Shane Byrne will be there like a rat up a drain pipe.
Oh,
sideways down the clearways. And that's given Johnny Rea an opportunity to get back on the power. Engine management a little better on the HM Plant bike, and that's also given Lavia an opportunity to get up the inside. So first, back to third. You go second, first, third, all in 2 corners. Shane Shaky Byrne, you're in a race.
Gregorio's done the same manoeuvre to Jonathan Rea at the same corner.
Good drive all the way around the outside. Gregorio Lavia now, you've got to say, do you know that white line he leaves going down Paddock Hill Bend? I'm sure he's not 1 inch off of it every single lap. Gregorio Lavia leaves exactly the same scrape mark in exactly the same place.
Looks like bodywork round, you know.
Yeah, I think it is bodywork, judging by the white stuff it's leaving on there, the white paint off the bottom of the bike. Is this Gregorio Lavia's swan song? Will we see him back in British Superbikes next year? Will Leon Haslam be back in British Superbikes? This is where Lavia does it, straight up the inside. That has been his absolute hallmark for this weekend. He's been so quick in the clearways there, very confident of that motorcycle staying with him. Meanwhile, lap 14 of 20, Greg already... Oh, down has gone Shane Byrne. Shane Byrne tumbles out. Paul Bird hangs his head. Byrne is back on his feet. If you remember... Oh, Shane Byrne a little bit disorientated, but really he was turned over pretty roughly in the sand. Shane Byrne goes to the side of the track, straight into the arms of the paramedics. A disaster for Shane Byrne and the Stobart Bent Axia boys, just as he... Oh, that was well sideways there, unbelievably. That was on, just as he asked for the power, it just let go from under him.
I wonder if there's any remnants of oil there from that first incident.
Good spot, Neil McKenzie.
Crutchlow third.
Oh, what a result for Cal Crutchlow. That could not happen to a team that needs it more. So out front, Gregorio Lavia, Jonathan Rea going for his second place of the day. And Cal Crutchlow, who was, what, 5th in race 1 on the Rizla Suzuki, looking for a podium finish here in the final race of the year. Lap 17 of 20 now. Fastest lap was Lavia on 45.4 on lap 6. Way out front. Tristan Palmer is going to make it a double for the Superbike Cup. He leads the Superbike Cup. He's down in 16th position overall, but will take another 25 points in the Superbike Cup. We're 3/4 of the way around lap 18 of 20 on this restarted race after the red flag came out. Into clearways to start lap 19, the penultimate lap of the race. Tyre issues not going to be an issue with this shortened race distance. Gregorio Lavia is going to make it a double surely for Airwaves Ducati. Airwaves no longer a sponsor. Darryl Healy, a dilemma for him. Does he underwrite his World Superbike Championship campaign, or does he stay in Great Britain? That's why Leon Haslam is still hanging on, waiting for the news. Through clearways, Cal Crutchlow comes to the line. We're on the final lap now. Gregorio Lavia has a massive, massive lead around here at the moment. It is 1.6 seconds. That's a long way over Jonathan Ray. Cal Crutchlow is a further 8/10 back, but going to be on the podium for the first time in his Superbike career. Great way to finish the end of the year. Momentum is all his. He was a superb Supersports rider. He's going to be an even better Superbike rider by the look of it. Nowhere near as wild as I thought he might be this year on a Superbike, particularly that big Suzuki. Gregorio Lavia, though, is your man. Comes in towards the line with Jonathan Ray. A double win for Lavia. A double second place for Jonathan Ray. And the Spaniard, will he leave Great Britain now? Will he go back to the World Championship, or will he re-sign for another year here? Colin Wright hugs Darryl Healy. Maybe that'll encourage Darryl Healy to sign another cheque. I think I need another throat at this particular point of the year at the moment, having commentated on today's racing. It's been great racing, but hey, I don't need it till next year, so let's just wreck it, shall we? It'd be like a throat burnout, if that is such a thing. Gregorio Lavia confirmed the winner from Jonathan Ray and Cal Crutchlow. We'll see them on top of the podium in a little while, as we will, of course, Chianari, who will join them as the championship winner. Haslam, Walker, Sykes and Harris are your top 8. James Hayden, Michael Rudder, Steve Plater, Scott Smart, Tommy Hill only 13th, Ian Hutchinson 14th, Tristan Palmer 15th in the main championship, but of course taking 25 points for the Superbike Cup part of it. Simon Andrews just outside the points. So after the final Bennett's British Superbike Championship race of the year, these are the point standings. Ryoichi Chianari and Jonathan Ray make it a top 2 double for HM Plant Honda. Leon Haslam and Gregorio Lavia on the Airwaves Ducatis are 3rd and 4th. Shane Byrne and Tom Sykes on the Stobart Vent Axia Hondas are 5th and 6th. Chris Walker, the top Rizzler Suzuki man, in 7th place. Leon Camia hangs on in there on the BikeAnimal.com Honda for 8th place. Cal Crutchlow is 9th. Tommy Hill on the Virgin Media Yamaha Superbike team bike in 10th place. Carl Harris on the Hydrex Honda in 11th. Michael Rutter on the MSS Discovery Kawasaki 12th. Scott Smart on the Hawk Colchester Kawasaki 13th. Ollie Bridewell finishes the season in 14th place, and we will all remember Ollie long into the distant future. There's no doubt about that. Tommy Bridewell will be giving us good races next year, I'm sure, in the name of the Bridewell family. Steve Plater 15th at the end of the year. Simon Andrews 16th. Ryoichi Chianari holds aloft the Bennett's British Superbike trophy for the 2nd year running. The young Japanese moves into World Superbikes for 2008. He will be gone, but definitely not forgotten. The final podium of the final Superbike race of 2007. A majestic double for Gregorio Lavia, chased home again by Jonathan Ray, and star of the future, Cal Crutchlow. Bring on the party.